Developing tonight, former FBI Director Jim Comey's stunning testimony continues to dominate the headlines. Joining me now with more is Chief Counsel at the American Center for Law and Justice and now part of the president's legal team, Jay Sekulow. Jay, thanks so much. I want to talk about James Comey's legal exposure. I want to talk about what I, as a former prosecutor, see as real legal problems for Jim Comey, and maybe you can help me out here. So let's talk about, first of all, the Federal Records Act and Jim Comey writing a report in an FBI vehicle, surrounded by FBI, on an FBI laptop, after a meeting with the president. Isn't that a federal record?
Yeah, I think I lost some of your feed there, but you asked me if that's a violation of the Federal Records Act. But I will tell you it's also a violation of 18 U.S.C. 641. And this idea that he conveyed a government record, look what he did. I mean, this is the FBI director. The FBI director gave this information to a third party to leak. So I think that James Comey has serious legal exposure. In fact, the special counsel should be looking into his activity to determine whether it's a violation of law. In my opinion, it is that clearly the way he conducted himself with the distribution of that memo, which, as you said, was on government material, government property, basically a 302 report, I think it raises serious legal issues. Yep. All
right. So what we've got now is this information, conversations or documentation of alleged conversations with the President of the United States. Is that classified, or is that something that can just willy-nilly be passed out when you leave?
I mean, first of all, if you had a conversation with the President of the United States and you're the FBI director, it's immediately covered by executive privilege at a minimum. And the nature of what was discussed, I mean, look what was being supposedly discussed, by the way, that we only have Jim Comey's side of this. And you're talking about Russian investigations, according to Jim Comey. I would think that would be classified information. Now, James Comey keeps this in his drawer and leaks it. Leaks it to a friend of his because he was afraid for his own personal reasons. And by the way, is this the guy you want? Is this the guy you want out there going after groups like ISIS and counterintelligence? He wasn't strong enough. I felt intimidated by Loretta Lynch. I mean, the reality is the legal exposure here, I think, is serious for Jim Comey.
Well,
really
I think it's serious, and I also think the reputation damage is huge. And, you know, the only problem, Jay, it seems to me, is he's like this with Bob Mueller. Bob Mueller, as special counsel, is in a position to have to assess who he's going to believe. If it's his word against his word, the president against Jim Comey. You and I both know that Mueller goes back to the 2004 days when, you know, Comey thought he was going to save the nation at the hospital bed of John Ashcroft. Who do you think Mueller's going to agree with?
Well, I think Mueller's going to have to, I think the special counsel is going to have to be very careful, because you now had an admission by the former FBI director of the leak of the information. And he said he cleared this testimony, by the way, with the special counsel, which raises another legal issue. Why is a witness clearing his, quote, testimony with the special counsel, who should include in the orbit of his investigation the FBI director who leaked information? He became the leaker in chief here. I mean, there's no question about it. But the three takeaways here are: there is no case against the President of the United States. And James Comey acknowledged that multiple times. There's never been an investigation of the president.
He's never been under investigation.
Self-serving documentation for his own reputation, which he collapsed last week.
All right,
it was a collapse of James Comey.
Absolutely. But the thing that I find so stunning, why would he out and out admit that he leaked that information to a friend, specifically to leak to the New York Times, specifically to get a special counsel? Was he going to be outed? Why would you do that?
Well, I mean, look, he said, and you're exactly correct, and I thought the lead counsel in this case, Mark Hasselwitz, said it right in his statement. I mean, look at the nature of the events that took place here. And what ends up happening, and he did this, he said, to get a special counsel. And by the way, what happens the next day after he leaks it? Special counsel. So you tell me what's going on here. You've been a prosecutor, you've been a judge. I've been a government lawyer, I've been in private practice. I will tell you, you just look at this evidence, you know that what's going on here is inside the Beltway situation. And I'll tell you something, the special counsel has to, if he's going to do his job, he better be looking at his friend as well.
Well,
period.
you know, and we all hope for that, but I don't know if history is any indication. I very much worry about these so-called objective investigations. Like, if you remember with Benghazi, you know, Hillary and the whole State Department, and they never even spoke to Hillary because they were pals of Hillary. Mueller now pal of Comey. Don't like it. Jay, go ahead.
All right, now I was going to say very quickly, there's a great legal team in place here for the president. These are serious issues that James Comey has put himself in the middle of. He's the one that has hoisted this constitutional issue on himself. I'm convinced with Mark Hasowitz and the legal team here that at the end of the day, it's going to be exactly what we saw at that hearing. Nothing.
Right. And
no
maybe,
case closed.
And maybe hoisted on his own petard. Jay Sekulow.
Could be.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Judge.
All right.
Thank
and
you.
Up next, my one-on-one interview with Donald Trump Jr., his explosive reaction to the Comey testimony, and what he has to say about his father's tweeting. Plus, my all-star political panel is on deck and ready to battle it out. Back in a moment.